the pessimistic eye, there was no future for Northern Ireland. Happily, punk rock arrived.
Teenage dreams, so hard to beat. Every time she walks down the street, another girl in the neighborhood.
They could really play, and it was a unique sound as well. I always go on about the start of Teenage Kicks when you know, that boom, ba, boom, ba, boom, and that brilliant outro that just, to me, is like, well, why can't the drum start the song?
I'm gonna call her on the telephone. Have her over 'cause I'm all alone.
We just plugged in, we set the mics up. I obviously don't remember the details. Started playing and it just came out like that, you know. Don't know, magic. Can't explain it.
I think it's probably down to with him and John, it would have been, here, turn the guitar up, turn the guitar up, turn the guitar up, turn that guitar up. It was like a fight, you know, between the two guitars, turn that up. So I think it's like, suddenly you reach this area where all the guitars sound great.
But to be honest, I've never got that guitar sound ever again.
There's something about the Undertones guitar sound on Teenage Kicks. It's like the Pistols guitar sound. You could, as a guitar player, you can never recreate that Teenage Kicks guitar sound, never. And it's iconic. It's brilliant.
Teenage Kicks was unbeatable. Even now, it's an anthem that brings out the fan in so many musicians.
It just seemed to be so confident and so sparkling and so gloriously poppy that I just wouldn't imagine that sort of song coming from here. It just totally blew me away. When I found out they were Northern Irish, I was just so proud, you know, and especially from Derry, you know, my full family are from up there.
There was a crucial figure in England who spread the news. DJ John Peel.
John Peel played it and he said it's not the most wonderful record you ever heard, and for the first time ever in history really, when he played it again.
The Undertones had a classic understanding of the pop song and a totally unique singer.
We didn't sort of tell him what to sing or anything at the start.
He started singing and that's the way the Fergal Sharky voice came out, you know. It was like, wow.
Whenever we first got around to making a demo, I remember not liking singing. Terrible thing to say, you know. That's before you realise you get to let a singer sing, you know. Thankfully we did.
The Undertones were funny and sharp and self-aware. They were pure Derry.
They had the perfect mixture of teenage heartbreak, you know, fancying girls, the feeling inadequate, you know, the cousins, you know, and the cool boys. Because I mean, Sharky was that, he's a brilliant frontman. He was that kind of off the wall, kind of quirky, kind of nerdy. It was just the boys from the bog.
Punk rock excitement was everywhere. It even had its own record label, Good Vibrations, founded by Terry Hooley.
Punk was my hippie's revenge. We tried to hand you the flowers and you beat us up. Look what's happened to society now. You've got punk. It didn't matter whether you're a Catholic, Protestant, whether you had pink hair, whether you're from Mars. I mean, as long as you were a punk, that was the uniting force. And I just thought, this is absolutely brilliant. This is doing my old anarchist heart good.
The label's first single, Big Time, by Rudi.
Terry's importance really, it can't be overestimated because he encouraged people, you know, and he was a great ideas man. And before that, people just laughed at you and sort of thought, you know, these are just stupid kids, they'll grow out of it. But he took you seriously, and then because of the contacts he had, he was able to actually do something about it. We'd never been in a recording studio or anything, and Terry was able to go, right, well, we'll do this, and we'll do this, and we would never have thought of that ourselves. I remember when the record arrived back, it was amazing to open this box and here's this record, and you put it in a record player, and you know, it was Rudi. It was great.
Up there, to us, it was always a secret how you made that, and now every kid in Northern Ireland should know how you make a record. how easy it is.
It was time to celebrate life in Belfast again, to go back to the city centre, to visit clubs like the Pound and the Harp Bar.
The Harp Bar was in Hill Street. It was one of the oldest bars in Belfast. It looked like a derelict building outside, but like barbed wire around and a security gate to let you in. Inside, it looked almost derelict. It was black. The toilets didn't have actually cubicle doors on the cubicles, and when you went outside it didn't look any sort of different anyway in the main dance area. It was a very intimidating place if you weren't part of that crowd. But to us, it was like home. I mean, it was like, it was the punk club in Belfast, and it was us against the world. I mean, and that's the best thing there is at that age.
The Outcasts were contenders. So were Roof Wrecks and Protex. Victim had their moment, and so did Big Self. A Belfast act called Stiff Little Fingers saw this as their opportunity to make a political stand.
Four kids from Belfast, writing about the troubles, and this is the great political rock band we've all been waiting for. It sort of took us back a bit because, as far as we were concerned, anything we'd written was just about our own lives. We didn't see ourselves as the great political voice of the disaffected youth in Northern Ireland, whatever the hell they wanted to say we were,
Stiff Little Fingers were one of the few bands to sing about sectarianism. They believed they made a difference.
We'd met a couple of kids after a show who said that because of the influence of the band and lyrics, they'd thought twice about getting involved with their local paramilitaries. And I mean, all party politics and so on aside, that could well have been a couple of lives saved.
Stiff Little Fingers left Belfast and the Troubles behind, but those early records are still hugely popular.
Everything that the band did then, and I was involved in, I totally stand by. There are a few music lovers out there that think that maybe we should have learned to play the instruments before we actually cut a record, but no.
This exciting period was no bad thing for the Moondogs from Derry. And for another Belfast act, the Starjets.
We did it the old-fashioned way. We got all our equipment and put it in a van and sort of got the ferry over and sort of drove down to London and sort of slept on people's floors and we eventually got some songs, wrote some songs and got a record deal. Brought out a couple of singles on CBS, one of which was a track called War Stories, which got to 47, which was made us pop stars in Belfast, got on top of the pops.
The Undertones delivered so many great singles. And then, a more serious aspect revealed itself in the music.
We did Top the Pops, I think the very day Bobby Sands died. The title alone was supposed to be about hunger strikes, because Irish history of hunger strikes. And I just said, I'm going to wear a black armband, does anybody else want to? Nobody spotted it at the time.
But it was of its time.
Of its time. I felt just at that
atmosphere.
It was a scary moment. It was a bad time for Northern Ireland. Tensions were high and emotions were very high.
It was the final call for punk rock. It was also the beginning of the end for the Undertones.
They were all a bunch of miserable gits. It's true, except for me, of course.
No, sure. We always wanted to go home for our team.
That's why the Undertones weren't rich, because they didn't want to work. They didn't want to work for their living.
But rightly so.